Hey everyone, just getting back on to show you my next step of how I prepare my wigs. So, I got a little bit of a smaller head, so I cut the inside of my wigs and sew them back together. So I'm just going to show you how I do that real quick. Right now I am doubling my thread, so I fold it in half when I thread it so that when I tie it back together, it's actually 4 strings instead of just 2, so it gives it a little bit of more strength. So yeah, just put it in, double it in half, and then put it through the needle, and then fold it in half again, and then tie your knot at the very end. So gives it a little bit of extra strength, so it doesn't, next thing you know, it's falling apart. Okay, so that's that part. And then okay, I use one of these little razor thingies. You can get them, there for eyebrows, whatever, but I use them for my wigs. So, the inside of the wigs have these little clip things. Some people might like them, but I don't. So, all I do is just go in real light, just right under the clip, and cut all the seam stitching. And, bam, it takes like 2 seconds and it's off. So there's a few of them on here. I'm going to cut them all off. The reason I cut them off is because I actually shaved my head. So there's no hair for it to clip into. So, I cut them off so I don't have to fill them on my head. And you want to make sure you're cutting up towards the clip and not down into the wig. This last one's being a little stubborn. There we go. Oh, one more to go. So yeah, all I'm doing is cutting into the threading for the seam of the clip. Okay, there we go. Got them all off. If you want to, you can trim up the little bit of stitching that came off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is find the middle of the cap. Try to shake it out some, because you don't want to cut too much into the hair. So you want to make sure that you got it kind of free underneath. Usually I cut about 1 inch. So I'm going to cut in and I'm going to go up into a point, and then I'm going to come back down the other side, and at the bottom there's going to be about 1 inch gap. Okay. You don't need to do this. Like I said, I do it because I have a smaller head. So it just helps, it helps so that the, some hair is going to come out, but it doesn't matter. It helps so that the bulkiness isn't like a lot on the back of my head from the wig cap. So now you can see that it's cut. So now all I'm going to do is push the hair back through as much as I can and put it back together. If some hair goes through on the inside, it doesn't matter. But try to line it up as close as you can. So see. And then I just start at the top and work my way down. And I just go right over. I don't do any fancy stitches. Like I said, just try to keep it lined up. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy because it's on the inside. Nobody will even be able to tell that I cut it and sewed it back together. So now I got it at the end, and I'm just going to tie it off. Just a little bow knot. I usually do 2 just to make sure. And I hold it against it and then try to get it as tight to the wig as possible. And that's it. You just clip off the bottom part. And that's what it looks like. So now it'll fit my head a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and prepare to put it on. So I'm going to cut off. I don't like this netting on the back, so I always cut it off. I don't know if some people leave it on, but I don't. Oops. And there we go. That's all cut off. And then in the front, I use, see how it comes out, the baby hair is already pre-plucked. So I just try to get as close as I can to that. So it makes it look more natural. And yet again, I use my handy dandy little razor tool, because it cuts the netting so well. You don't have to really force it or use a whole lot of pressure. You just go right along with it and it cuts it. And you might get a little hairs in there, and that is absolutely okay. There's plenty of hair on here to go around. So you just go right along the edge. So I'm right at the end now, so all I'm doing is pulling it tight and getting in there with the razor and cutting it all the way to the end. When I pull the lace piece, there's a little bit of hair, but no worries. And then that's just garbage. And then the front of it looks like that. And then some people don't know, like I get a 13-inch, so I get a 13-inch round, but then I get 6 inches of lace. So the front of the lace starts at the very front and then it ends right here. So there's 6 inches on the top of your head that's actually breathable. I know some people are worried about like getting too hot. Sometimes I get hot, but not really. Not with the 6-inch. You can get 4-inch too, but I found the 6 inches better so you don't get so hot. That's just my preference. So yeah, that's that part.